Mr. Darby is a special education teacher to 4th and 5th grade students in a special ed classroom at a mainstream elementary school. He considers himself to be a very good teacher. One day, when the children are waiting for the bus, one of his students, Becky, is being very loud and talking in a loud voice about some characters she saw on a TV show last night. She's imitating the characters, and when all the other children are being very quiet waiting for the bus to go home, Becky is being very loud. It is now October, and Becky's had a lot of issues since she entered Mr. Darby's class. Late October. She has been in class making some inappropriate jokes, laughed at the wrong times, been chewing on pencils and biting off their erasers, has had temper tantrums. She's been teased by her classmates, and she's been teased by kids at recess. And it's been very hard for Mr. Darby and for his paraeducator in the classroom. 3 weeks ago, Becky's dad came in to pick Becky up from school, and she decided he wanted to go and talk to Mr. Darby and get to know him. So Mr. Darby told him, yeah, she's been doing the above-mentioned things, and Dad is not surprised. He says to Mr. Darby that Becky's mom and him have really tried to help her, and she's been teased a lot, especially when she was on the swim team and went to horseback riding camp over the summer. Mr. Darby goes over to Becky and gets on one knee and speaks to her. Becky, I have noticed that you're being very inappropriate. Becky is looking away, and he puts 2 fingers under her chin gently, so she's making eye contact. I heard about you going to camp and being teased. Do you know why you get teased? It's because you act very immature. You act like a buffoon, a very childish clown, and that is why you're being made fun of. How old are you? Becky puts up 9 fingers like this. That's what my son does when I ask him how old he is, and he's 3. You are a 9-year-old in the 4th grade, and you need to do what's appropriate for a 4th grade student. 4th grade students, when they're asked about how old they are, they say their ages. They don't put up the fingers. That's what little kids do. And I expect you to act like a 4th grade student. Goodbye. Mr. Darby leaves, and Becky is very quiet until it's time to go home. Becky's teacher from last year notices this conversation, and she notices that Becky's looking very discouraged. And she goes up to Becky and says, "Did you just get in trouble with Mr. Darby?" And Becky is very quiet and nodding her head in the affirmative. So, questions to my audience. What do you think Mr. Darby's intentions were in having this conversation with Becky? What are some things that he could do to be more positive instead of punitive? And what are some things that he could do to work with Becky's father so they're working more collaborative on finding a positive way to help Becky change some of these behaviors? I look forward to seeing your answers.